The pride and joy of Lebanon, Indiana. She's coming back for her second performance. Her first was fantastic, so we put a little pressure on her. One root beer and I'm loaded. It's impossible to get me loaded. And Jane O'Connor, her tagline is, "She's too short for stand-up. I don't believe it." Where are you at, Jane? Yeah, that wasn't state either. She does need a bicycle flag too. Come on up here. Jane O'Connor.
Go Jane!
All right. It's funny that you mentioned Rick Mount just out of nowhere because I actually bought a house last year, first time, and it was his parents' house. So I have his childhood home. So, anyway, today's already December 18th. Are you guys ready for Christmas?
Woo!
Yeah.
I am not. And you know, I find it harder and harder to get excited about a Christmas because the traditions are just changing. I was talking, for example, to my 6-year-old nephew, and I said, "Ryan, have you already mailed, no, wait, I mean emailed your list to Santa?" He just kind of looked at me. "No, I texted him." Okay, well, then you must have a short list, right? And he said, "OMG, AJ, abbreviations." Okay, it took me a while to finally, you know, find out what OMG is, but AJ? Aunt Jane. Oh, see, of course. So I said, "Ryan, you know, Santa's kind of an old guy like myself, so he might not know what all your abbreviations are. I hope you're going to go to the mall and, you know, tell him in person." And he was like, "The mall? Does Santa still do that?" He goes, I friended him on Facebook. And on Tuesday we're going to have a Skype conversation. So, yeah, traditions. I don't know what's next. You know, virtual presents under a virtual tree. But, and presents, you know, the way we buy them is changing now too. So there's a lot of online buying. And I've done that. And I bought something I never ever thought that I would buy. The clapper. They've got a new one. The Clapper Plus, I think it is. And basically it's like a remote. You just press the button. You don't have to overexert yourself by clapping. So, you know, they had a really good sale on it because I figured they're trying to get rid of the old ones. So I, you know, went online and I bought it, and I got it today. And I think you really have to be careful what you're doing, because this is not what I expected. And because I was one of the first 97 people to order, I got the mini kit. I guess that must be just for the mini tree lights, I don't know. And another present that I was going to get that I thought I would never ever buy, and that was a Chia Pet. Because they had a Willie Nelson Chia Pet. Oh my God, I gotta get that. So that one you had to call up for. I called up and they said, "Oh, we're sorry, ma'am. We can't sell you the Willie Nelson Chia Pet. You have to live in California and you have to have a prescription." Special Mexican chia grass with the Willie Nelson one, I don't quite understand. But, and speaking of icons who are having drug problems, I don't know if you heard, but Frosty the Snowman was arrested.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was arrested for possession. You know his song where it says, "And the traffic cop yelled, 'Stop'"? Well, Frosty didn't. He just ran here and there all around the square, you know, saying, "Catch me if you can." Well, the officer finally did, and he got a whiff of what was in Frosty's corncob pipe. And yeah, and you know, it must have been a sad scene with Frosty pushed down on the ground and his little twig hands behind his back. And, you know, they apprehended him, took him in. A lot of people I know say, well, he got what he deserved. Because, you know, I never thought he would amount to anything. Frosty comes from a long line of drifters. He is remorseful, and the police are really worried because he does feel very broken up about it, and they have him on suicide watch because they're afraid Frosty's going to have a meltdown. There's some other icons too that are having their problems. Santa Claus, he had to put one of his reindeer on probation. Blitzen, because actually I think his real name should be Blitzed. But he promised to do better. He said he would go into a 12-step program. Well, okay, for reindeer it's a 24-step program. And then Santa's also catching a lot of grief from Michelle Obama. You know, she's on this anti-obesity kick of the kids, which is fine and good. But, you know, it's Christmas. And she's telling Santa, no, don't put any candy in the stockings. Put apples and oranges and kumquats and broccoli and all that good stuff. So he's kind of having a problem. And Sarah Palin came to his rescue, of course, because she's like, Santa, don't let those liberals tell you what to put in our kids' stockings. Just fill them up with sugar. And it's kind of surprising that Palin came to his rescue because last week she criticized Santa because he had lifted his don't ask, don't tell policy for the elves. Yeah, and I actually hear that Dancer and Prancer are hoping he lifts it for the reindeer pretty soon. Otherwise, judging by what happened with the Senate today, I guess they could always join the military. So, thank you very much, and have a good holiday.
All right, we got a couple comedians to go here.